All right, guys, welcome back to the show. Today we're at one of our projects going on. This show is going to be kind of an update. We have two projects going on, so we're going to kind of just give you a walkthrough of the projects, where we're at. I know we haven't been doing the detailed videos. That's just because we've had so much going on. We are going to get back to really in-depth, detailed videos, I promise. We have a plan for that. But don't forget, if you want to design your own post frame home, building, shop, whatever the case may be, we can help you out. Email us, design@MrPostFrame. We also have a self-build group. It's a Patreon group. You can join it. It's a bunch of other self-builders are on there. It's a great community. We talk about different self-building topics, and I help you guys get your project going in the direction that you need it. So check that out as well. But let's go ahead and I'll give you a rundown of this project, kind of tell you where we're at, what it's going to be, and then we also have 120 by 50 that we will take you to and give you an update on that as well. All right, guys, so this house right here is a custom home we are building for a client. The house part is 48 by 40, so it's 48 feet deep, 40 feet wide. It's 2-story, 18-foot sidewalls, and then it's got an attached 40-foot deep by 32-foot garage. The owner does mechanical work, so he has some specific door placement that he wanted. But we will, I'll kind of walk you through, kind of show you where we're at. We're putting metal on it right now. We should be able to wrap all of the exterior up on this in the next week, depending on weather. And then we will be coming back to do the in-floor heat prep. So we'll be putting all the insulation down, all the tubing. We have already put the insulation down for the down 2 foot into the ground to protect from frost coming into the side. As you can see, this is the garage part. Got a 12 by 12 door here and a 12 by 12 door on the other side. This is the front porch. So we got the front door, and right inside the door it'll go up the full 18 feet. Stairs go up there to the upstairs. I think there's 2 bedrooms upstairs, bathroom, masters on the main floor, all that good stuff. But this is kind of a typical porch you'll see from us and in a lot of our designs. It's a post and beam porch. We got 6 by 6 green treated posts, and then we use a 6 by 6 green treated beam, and it's built just like a post and beam. So that beam sits on top of the posts. This whole house is done with Midwest permacolumn wet set brackets. On our porch detail, we do something a little different. We will set our bracket up about 3.5–4 inches, the thickness of our slab. That way, when we come in and pour our porch, we can pour right underneath this bracket, and it goes around all that rebar. And what that does is, I used to form up a box around this and pour that concrete up to there, but then when you pour this, anytime you have an outside corner on concrete, there's potential for cracking. So by doing it this way, we avoid any of that chance of cracking, and it is super fast way to set these brackets without using a lot of forms. We have videos on how we do this. It works amazing. And if you think about your porch, a lot of people are worried about uplift on these buildings with piers and stuff like that, which is not a problem. But if you think about a porch, that's where you're going to get the most wind traveling in there. That's why I use these Midwest permacolumn brackets. These are SWP66s. The dry set version would be the SW66. And these are rock solid. You can paint these if you wanted them to be black or whatever color. You could paint them so they match. But this ends up being a really good rock solid way to build your porches. This building has black roofs, trim, soffit, and then it goes to charcoal, and then they chose white windows with black trim. A lot of you probably think black windows look great. The reason I think these clients probably wanted black windows, but the problem with black windows is they are double the price as a white window. So a lot of time that is a deal breaker for people. But go in here and show the inside. So this is our insulation that goes down the side 2 feet, and this is a new product we're using. I found these guys at the NFB, the National Frame Builders Conference, and I reached out to them and said, hey, I got to use this product, it's amazing. So I think this is pretty much what I'm going to be using here forward, and there's a lot of reasons for that. We're going to be doing a special video on this, but this is an EPS foam. It's got a vapor barrier built in on both sides. So the one cool thing about that is I don't have to lay plastic down anymore. I can just go right to putting my insulation down on the floor, smooth it out, compact it, and then I just have to tape the seams. So that's one major benefit of this, is that I avoid a step because it's already got the vapor barrier built in it. Another huge benefit to this is it's got 6-inch grids on it. So you have 1-foot grids for your tube layout. You can do 2x2 grids for your rebar layout. So you don't have to snap lines, you don't have to mark anything. It's already on there and ready to go. And another great thing about it is it has termiticide in it, which kills termites, kills ants, kills any bug that tries to burrow and get into your house. I think that's awesome to have that built into this product. EPS foam is basically formulated using styrofoam balls and I believe water, so it has no chemicals, so there's no chance of off-gassing, anything like that. We're gonna have a specific video on this that will go into more detail. And if anybody wants a quote on this, I can get you a quote. Drop ship to your place, but we will cover that in another video. This area right here is going to be 18-foot ceilings. Stairs will go up there. Have a balcony, a couple bedrooms, bathroom. There is a utility room upstairs, and then we got, I believe there's like a mud room, kitchen, dining area, all that. But this whole building is designed with 4-ply 2x6 columns, 8-foot on center. And that's one thing we talk a lot about in our build group, is how to design your structure in a way that's really easy and efficient to build, and then design the inside around it. Anytime you get some weird spacings, there's just more chance for error when you're building. It's more work, it's more different length material, and it just complicates things. You see, we got this all leveled off. It's ready for the rough-in plumbing, electrical, which we are not doing. I leave this open here just so they can bring a pump truck in and extend the boom through here to get concrete in here, and then this can all be, the boards can be put up, house wrap, all that good stuff can be put in. So that's one thing to consider when you're building. And you're going to do the concrete after. You got to think about, how am I going to get concrete in there? If you know who you're going to use for concrete, maybe talk to them, see what their preference is. I mean, a lot of guys want to do it first, but I like doing it after, because most of these have the finished concrete as their finished floor. So what I do, I left this grade board out between the garage and the house so I could drive my skid steer in there, get all the rock in. Now we're done. We have that all to the height we need it. And what the plumbers and electricians kind of mess up we will easily be able to level off with just rakes and stuff. So I got the grade board back in. We'll leave these out so a pump truck can extend its boom in here, and we'll go from there. But this garage is 14-foot sidewalls, and this was specific to the owner, this door locations. But again, we have posts 8-foot on center here, above garage doors, where we get off our 8-foot spacing. We'll run a 2x12 double header for most cases, depending on the span of your building, loads, all that. We just decided to run a double 2x12 all the way across this end because just the way this laid out, I moved these posts over just so they weren't so close here, because it's 10 foot from there to there. So if I had to put a column at 8 foot, it would have been just really difficult to drill those piers. So I just split the difference, and we have post at 5 foot, 10 foot, and then we just ran a double header across here. Those are things that we can help you out with our design services, kind of figuring out the best way to lay all that stuff out. We'll take you around the back so you can see the back side of this house. See, all of our trims are black. I use a sliding door trim here for my garage doors. And then we run a J here, which will receive our metal. I like doing that. It's a nice, easy, clean finish. And then another thing you'll see on most of our Barndominiums that we design is I did this on my house. I put a linear break across the gable here. And so basically what that is, you can have any width trim made to break that up if you want a little bit beefier looking trim. A lot of times I'll use the double angle, which is the wainscot trim, run it across here, and it just adds a nice linear break. It's aesthetically pleasing in my opinion, and when people see it on our buildings and on our houses, they decide they want it most of the time. So it does make the pieces shorter, which makes it a little bit easier to handle, but it does take a little bit extra time because you're putting up 2 pieces versus just one that goes all the way up. Another detail that we do on all of our buildings, unless it's like a livestock barn. Really couldn't get away with this on a livestock barn because of the acidity of the urine and stuff, but we take color matched trim and cover our grade board. So we have a 2x12 grade board here. We bring our house wrap all the way down to the bottom, and then I have a custom trim bent, and we bring that up, and then our bottom square base starts there, and then you have a nice finished look below this trim, you know, because you'll bring your final grade up to here somewhere. All right guys, so that's gonna be a wrap here at this build that I just showed you. It's looking pretty sweet. I like the black and the charcoal. I think it goes good together, but we are going to head to 120 by 50 with 18-foot sidewalls that we're building right now, about an hour from here. We'll show you that, just kind of give you an update on that project. So we'll see you there. All right guys, so I told you I'd bring you up to the other build we got going on, just kind of give you an update on that. I haven't done pretty much zero videoing on this except for the footings. But you can see behind me, this is a big one. It's 120 by 50, 18-foot sidewalls. It's all framed up. It's got 1/2-inch OSB sheeting on the roof. The steel's all on it. All the doors and windows are cut in, framed in. So it's ready for house wrap and the windows to go in. So this one will probably finish up probably in the next couple weeks as well. But I'll go ahead and give you a rundown of what it is. So we got, I think this is a 10 by 12, 16 by 8 door. Like I said, it has 18-foot sidewalls. All the posts are 8 foot on center, except for the end walls. The client wanted a 50-foot end wall, so a width on his. I try to stay at 48. He wanted the 50, so what I did is I made these 2 outside bays 9-foot bays, and that way we kept our columns kind of in the middle all the way up and on that 8-foot spacing. You can span more than 8 foot. I just like to keep it on 8-foot centers. Just the way I like to build. However, in certain cases, that's how I'll handle that. If it's just like a foot, I'll add it to the outside bay. And then you just got to think when you're ordering your materials, I can't just get all 16-foot 2x6s. I have to throw in some 18s to make sure I can span 2 sets of columns. So this building is all chained down. We have these concrete blocks. These are 3,500 pound blocks. You can get these from most of your ready mix plants. What they do is trucks will come in with concrete left over and they'll make these blocks. They're great for retaining walls.
They're great for dead mans like this. You can put them on the inside, the outside, something to attach your chains to. The only thing I'll tell you is they are extremely heavy. So you have to have a telehandler or a really big skid steer to move these. This end down here will be a shop, and then eventually the homeowner is going to do a self-build and build out the other end down here as a residence. So we'll kind of show you that. Got a back door right here. I think that eventually the house wall will come across somewhere right in here. There's no plans. I have no plans for the inside of this. We just designed the outside, kind of the window layout based on what he wanted. So I mean, he has it in his head how he's going to where he's going to put walls, where he's going to put bedrooms. So that's how we determined the window spacing. These are all 4-ply 2x6 columns, trusses 8 foot on center with 15-inch heels. We do a minimum 15-inch heel for insulation purposes in the attic. If you're going to spray your whole roof, which would get really expensive, but some people do that, you wouldn't necessarily need the raised heel height on your trusses. You go with the standard, which is going to save you a few bucks, not a ton, but we always do that if we're going to do blow-in insulation. This is going to have blow-in fiberglass, I believe. I'm not sure if he's going with spray foam or not, but we have cross bracing all in. You can see that got one over here. There will be one going in over there. It's got, like I said, it's got all 1/2-inch OSB sheathing on the roof, so that's going to be all your angle diagonal bracing for the roof. On top, usually if you just do steel, you got to do some kind of angle bracing across the bottom of your purlins, but when you're using a sheathing, that takes care of that. You see how we utilize chains on all these. We put X's on each wall. We got chains from all the way to the top columns down. That helps hold the building in place until it's got the metal on it. Plus, it helps you straighten it out when you're building. We got all of the 2-inch, 11,000-pound tie-down straps from the truss on both sides down to the columns. And that helps us when we're putting it up. You have a rope to kind of maneuver the truss around. Then you can cinch the truss down to that column, so that keeps the movement from side to side if it gets really windy before you have the metal on. Plus, it helps you square or straighten your fascia. You loosen one side, tighten the other, and you can move that truss and straighten your fascia all the way down. I like using the straps on those because they're a lot lighter, a lot easier to handle. And as far as straighten your fascia, they work perfect. And it's less chains that I have to drag around. These are 1/4-inch, 50-foot chains, so they're not terrible, but the less I have to handle them, the better for me. So we use the 2-inch tie-down straps on all those locations, and then we just use chains, put X's on the walls to just strengthen them while we're building. 2x12 grade board. It's kind of the standard of what we use. We'll notch out the grade board to the height of the finished concrete, and then that's where the door will get set. So that's why you see that's notched out right there. So we'll take insulation down the side, across the bottom, and then you have 5 inches or whatever thickness of concrete you want. You just have to kind of figure that out and make that happen. You kind of see how we'll frame in the windows. We make a box. We put a 2 to 3 degree slant on this bottom sill and just screw it in. The way I try to design is I try to make my windows, the head height of the window, right at the bottom of a girt, so I don't have to add one across there. And then down here, we just only have to add one down here. Now these are 4.5 foot high windows. I like to use a 3x5 window because with a 3x5 window, I attach the head height of the window goes right here. And then my 2x4 girt down here that I use for like water spigots, electrical boxes, is the perfect height on a 3x5 to just go across the bottom of the window. So you don't have to add any extra girts if you use a 3x5 window for kind of your standard size windows.
So even when you see us use like bigger windows, we'll try to, we'll do a 3x5 or a 6x5, unless the client just wants something bigger. But that works really nice because then you don't have to add any extra girts. They're already there.
You can see like on those upper ones, again, we used the girt that was already there for the top of the window, and then we just had to add one at the bottom. Now all these, you can see they're all blocked in between. That way you have a place to nail all your flashings, trims, stuff like that too. This is going to be, it's black roof, fascia, soffits, animal white sides, black trims, and then a black wainscot.
So this is the first client in a while that's gone with a different color wainscot than the side of their building. And I think it's going to look pretty sharp. So we will show you that once we get it done. But again, if anybody's interested in us designing a building, we can do that. Reach out to us, design at Mr. Postframe, and we can help you out with that. But as always, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, share us with your friends, and we will catch you on the next video.